Hello and welcome back to True Crime Mysteries with me, FemmeTarot. And today's case is quite controversial because people are split in the middle regarding whether they believe Michael Peterson is guilty or he's not guilty. And I'm coming in completely unbiased. I know about the case. I have watched, and I've got to say this before we start, I have watched the HBO documentary, which came out years ago, but I haven't watched the Netflix one, which was more about the trial, more focused on the trial. But that's actually good. The less I know, okay, and the less I watch about a case, the better, because after all, I am a human. So I can be biased. We all can be biased depending on what kind of emotions, what something we watch brings out. Okay, so I've got to say, when I first watched the first documentary, the HBO documentary, instantly I thought, this guy, there's something's off. Okay, something's off, and he seems guilty of something, at least of something, not necessarily the death of his wife or the death of his best friend back in Germany. We'll talk about that in a minute. But before I go on, I would like to, first of all, welcome any new viewers, any new members, any new subscribers to the channel. Hello and welcome. I would also like to remind you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've just popped in and you're curious. If you like this type of content or any other type of content which involves astrology, readings, metaphysical, celebrities, pop culture, we've got it all in this channel. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to talk about this case and what comes out from the reading that we're going to do today, and mind you, I'm doing this live for the members and you are watching this afterwards. So you're the replay crew pretty much. So this is more the edited down version of the live. Now I want to start from the very beginning. So the intro video that you saw is just basically sort of introducing you to the case, especially if you're not aware or you've heard about the case but you don't know exactly what this is about. Michael Peterson is still with us. He lives in is it in Virginia? I'm not sure. I forget where he lives now. So he sold his house. That's the update I got, that he sold his house. He's living in the same area, the same neighborhood that he lived when his wife was alive, and with his kids as well. Now let's go back. Okay, let's go back. Let's start from the beginning. So Kathleen Peterson was Michael Peterson's second wife. He was married before when he lived in Germany back in the early 80s. He lived in Germany because he did serve in the military, and there was an American base in Germany, and they became, him and his wife Patricia, Patty, him and his ex-wife Patty became very close with another couple, Elizabeth Ratcliffe and her husband. And they became so close that they would spend holidays together. They were always at each other's homes. Michael knew he bonded very much with her girls. She has two girls, which he later also adopted. Now, Elizabeth Ratcliffe in 1985 was found dead by the kid's nanny, at the bottom of the staircase of their home. Which is, now you know why this case is known as the staircase. We don't just have one staircase, we have two staircases, or two cases of that. Not just that, it wasn't just a slip and fall, bad luck where she hit her head, had a concussion, they didn't find her on time. There was a lot of blood there too at the bottom of the staircase as well, just as with the case of Kathleen. And you did see in the videos some of those images that I pulled from Google. Google is always our friend, that were shown in the trial. And as you noticed, there was a lot of blood against the wall. And apparently there was blood on Michael as well with Kathleen's case with his second wife. But let's go back to Elizabeth now. So there was splatter of blood. The German police and the military got involved, obviously, and they did an autopsy, they did an investigation, and they did not find that there was foul play. The autopsy concluded that she died from an internal hemorrhage caused by a pre-existing blood disorder that she had. Okay, and this is what caused the blood spatter around. I wasn't able to find photos of the case of Elizabeth Ratcliffe because, out of curiosity, I really wanted to compare. Okay, wanted to compare the crime scene number 1 and crime scene number 2, because similar fashion, it happened in a similar way. They both landed at the bottom of the stairs, and there was blood all over the walls were covered with blood. So that is odd in itself. So if it was just one case, if it was just Elizabeth who died that way, we would have all said, freak accident, who knows? She could have hit like a sort of like a vein or something when she fell, and that's what caused the blood spatter. But when you've got 2 of those cases, and with Kathleen, it happened 17 or 18 years after that, of course, we all start to wonder. What a coincidence. And for those of you who know me and you follow this channel, you know that I don't personally believe in coincidences. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a reader. I am an energy healer. And all I can tell you is there are no coincidences, but there are synchronicities. It's 2 very different things in my book. So again, here, I don't want to call it a coincidence, but let's call it that for now, for the sake of the argument. Okay. So I want to let's start with that before we move on to 17 years later when Kathleen was found. And I've got the chat here. The chat is going to drop some questions, but don't do it just yet. Let me just do a quick reading around Elizabeth Ratcliffe right now and see what I can pick up. Before I go on, though, I want to say another thing. So before I start these videos, before I start channeling or before I do these types of readings, I always meditate. I always connect to my guides, and I ask them to bring whomever I want to read for or whomever I want to connect with, to bring them forward. And that's what I did before with Kathleen. I did see her. We did meet. Okay, we did see each other. She was wearing, I will describe what she was wearing. She was wearing a light blue dress. She looked very happy. She looked healthy. She was twirling, which that's how they show me that they're in a good place. They're happy. She grabbed my hand. She wanted to show me something, and then she let go. She regretted it instantly. And that's when I asked her, I'm like, is this something you want to share with me before I go and do this video, before I share with the world what I'm picking up, what I feel, what I see? And she didn't want to say anything. And then poof, she disappeared. But that doesn't mean that she's not going to come back. Doesn't mean that she's upset. But I feel that she is protecting her children. This is what I got. Even from the other side, even from the spirit world, she wants to protect her children. So let's see what we see with Elizabeth Ratcliffe, first of all, because that was very, and mind you, I've got to say that Elizabeth Ratcliffe was younger, but she was in her 30s when she died, and Kathleen was 43. I don't know if there's any significance to what I'm saying, but I just felt like saying that. So let's see if we connect with Elizabeth or what we can find out about Elizabeth. Right. Yeah. All right. I'll tell you to. Interesting. Interesting. Oh dear. Okay. I need to pull these as well. I need to pull some more cards. Give me a second. And I've got another deck here today as well, because it was calling for me before we started this live. Interesting about Elizabeth. Right. So some of you might know more details, more information about this case. So Femmies, a chat, live chat. If you do, I might put out some questions. And if you know anything about that, please let me know. But the reason why I'm saying that is, hold on, let me just, I will keep the cards away from the microphone because I know it is ASMR, but some people might get annoyed by it. I like it, relaxes me, but not everyone. Hold on. Nothing's coming through. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So what I know as Natalie, and then I'll tell you what I'm seeing here, is that they were really good friends. So they were always together, like the two couples back in Germany and everything. But he denied having any type of affair with her. And as far as I know, during the trial, they did DNA test her children to see if they had Michael Peterson's DNA as well, because that was part of the defense team. That was a course that the defense team wanted to, not the defense team, the prosecution, sorry, wanted to take, but they are not Michael Peterson's children. So we can take that out of the way. But that doesn't mean that they weren't a couple. So I pulled the first thing that comes up is the Two of Cups. So to me, it's either they were a couple. Yeah. So they were either together or there was an attraction to each other. I don't feel they had like a long-standing secret affair, if you know what I mean, that they were hiding behind their spouses' backs. But what I do feel is that they were very, very connected, almost to the point that I'm picking up that they have been soulmates from a past life with Elizabeth. Okay. So they were very compatible. They were very close. I'm asking guides now if they were physical. They weren't physical to that, but it's more of an emotional affair that I'm getting, or more of this, like when I'm saying they were a couple, there was a very strong bond between them, but doesn't necessarily mean that they were physical. It's just that they had a very special relationship. Everything changed though. Something happened between them before her accident, or before her death, before her passing. Something changed that. Something changed between Michael Peterson and Elizabeth, between their relationship. Something where she felt she couldn't trust him, or she felt that she needed to be like guarded. She felt guarded against him. She didn't feel as comfortable or as open to talk to him as she did before. So something happened, and I feel, and I'm hearing, she found out something about him, which disappointed her and surprised her. This is what I'm getting. I'm not going to say shocked, because I was corrected by spirit. It's more of it surprised her. She wasn't expecting something like that. So this happened, I'm going to say a few weeks or maybe a couple of months before that happened. Elizabeth was struggling with her mental health. It could be because she wasn't feeling. I do feel also that she wasn't feeling well a few days before she passed. Okay, she wasn't feeling herself. She was feeling blue, I mean physically, but at the same time she was also going through mental health challenges as well. Lots of things that she had to deal with at the time. I'm also picking up one of her parents. I feel her dad at that time was also not well. And she was worried about his health, and she was worried about whether he was going to make it through. This is what I'm getting. So that she was very preoccupied. There was a lot of going on there. Now, there has been rumors, or it has been written, that Michael Peterson was gay, bi. He had affairs with men and women, extramarital affairs, etc. Spirit and cards are confirming that. Okay, Spirit and cards are confirming that he was interested, or he was attracted to men as well. And I feel this is something that, it's not what Elizabeth found out that surprised her and changed things. It wasn't that, but it was around that time. I feel that too, about his sexuality, that's what she also found out. So she didn't know that before. She found out towards the end of her life as well. Let's see what else we see. All right. So she was a good mom. Her kids were everything to her, and she did share that with Michael Peterson and his ex-wife Patty. So, which is, I feel, why they Michael Peterson decided to adopt the girls, because it was one way of, as I said, it's very odd, because I don't think he realized at the time that they were soulmates, or they had soulmates. I'm not going to say karmic relationship. Karmic usually comes with a lot of challenges and a lot of hurt and a lot of purging, growth, and healing. But they were definitely a couple and connected in a past life. And I feel they both felt that they had a special connection, but they weren't, they didn't know in what way, or they didn't understand how. He was not financially stable at the time. I do feel that it was almost like they had like a little community between, like they had formed like a village. It takes a village to raise the kids. It takes a village. This is what comes through. And I feel that the two families, the two couples, were kind of like taking on different roles, a little bit like sister wives, where you have like, one sister wife helps the other sister wives, or each one has their own sort of role or responsibility. This is how it comes up. This is how it feels to me. But I want to get a little bit to because I don't want to spend too much time on Elizabeth, but I do want to, yeah. That's it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, you guys, I'm going to show you the cards. Michael Peterson. Okay, this is the first time Spirit talks to me and tells me outright something about Michael Peterson. He's very strategic. He is very manipulative. This is what I'm getting. He's very, very smart. Doesn't make him a bad guy, guys. Okay, we'll get to that. But I just feel that he's very, very smart, and he knows very well to play a role and manipulate people or situations to work for him, in order to make it work for him. This is what I'm getting. Guys, it doesn't look good with this Nine of Swords, to be honest. It doesn't look good. So about her passing. Ooh, okay. Another piece of information that I'm picking up is that I feel Elizabeth and her husband were thinking about moving out of Germany, or he was going to be, he was going to, anyways, I just feel that they were ready to pack up and move. And around that time, but they hadn't said anything to Michael and his wife, his then wife, which is interesting. And then she passed. But hold on, you guys, let me see what I get about Elizabeth's passing, please. Whoa, okay, all these, thank you. Strength, the Hanged Man, the Emperor again, Temperance. All right, so this one, I'm going to say this. It does feel to me like an accident, but it doesn't at the same time. And I'm trying to understand what is coming through. I have the Hanged Man, so, and then I've got the Strength, the Emperor, and then I've got the Five of Pentacles and the Temperance. I feel it wasn't premeditated, so it wasn't something that he had set to do, to push her down the stairs or to do anything to her. But I don't feel he pushed her, guys. Okay, let me just say that. And then we're talking about Elizabeth Ratcliffe in Germany in 1985. I don't feel that he was per se responsible, like he was the one who pushed her or he hit her on the head, because that's the other thing. She also had lacerations on her scalp, just as Kathleen Peterson did as well. But I'm not picking up that he hit her or caused that fall, him per se, but I feel his presence around at the time, which is interesting. I do feel his presence at the time. I do feel he's a very strong character. He does, as I said, he does get what he wants. He can be forceful. He can be, I even feel that he can be mean when he's in a bad mood. So, like, his words hurt. But I feel it was, the timing of it is weird. With Elizabeth, I'm going to say, and let me just pull one more card just to confirm that. He was involved, but he wasn't involved. This is what I'm getting. So he didn't push, he didn't hit, he didn't do anything like that. But I see my guides, my spirit team is showing me Michael Peterson, though, being there, present when that happened. And it almost feels like when she fell, it's like he took his bloody time. He took his time to, but he wasn't, she was found by the nanny, but it seems to me that he could have called someone. He could have called for help. He could have done something. And then he just left. This is what I'm getting. So he's responsible by proxy then for that. But no, but I don't feel that he was responsible. Hold on. Oh, my cards just. Spirit and my cards don't like him, though. I've got to tell you that. Okay, the energy that's coming through, 7 of Swords, 2 of Swords, 6 of Swords, something about money, something about them moving is what, and there was like something about Michael Peterson that came out that she found out. All of these together, just the energy around it is not good. It's very dark. That's what I'm going to say. With that, the Hermit, yes. So in the case of Elizabeth, oh, guys, okay, this is what I just heard. I'm going to tell you what I was going to say and what came through. So I'm going to say Elizabeth Radcliffe, Michael Peterson is not guilty of her death, okay, per se. But what if this accident, this fall, inspired him to mimic or to copy that same cause of death or that way of death with her wife, with his wife, with Kathleen. So let's look at their relationship. This one jumped out. Five of Cups, not a happy one, at least towards the end. It wasn't a happy one. Why do I keep feeling? Why do I keep feeling and getting that she wanted out months before she died? She wanted to leave him, but I feel they had come to through a civil discussion, they had come to an agreement that they wouldn't break off this marriage or this relationship, or at least not openly or announce it until something was over. And I'm not sure what that was over. Was it one of the children, waiting for one of the children to go to college? Was it that? Was it she was wait. I also got that around that time she was up for like a promotion or a big raise or some kind of recognition at work as well. So there was a lot going, as I said before, there was a lot going on in Kathleen's life around that time. It doesn't feel the same with Michael. It doesn't feel the same with Michael. That I have two very different energies coming through. I feel she's very dynamic, very hands-on, very bubbly, very strong woman as well, like very strong-willed and all that. And also quite career oriented as well. I'm gonna say with him, I get more of every time I kind of like connect with his energy, I feel a little bit dizzy. I feel a little bit lightheaded. It seems to me that he's a little bit all over the place, head up in the clouds as well, aside from the fact that I think he's extremely smart and strategic and manipulative. But what I'm picking up, I feel, is how they were that night before everything happened. I do, if I remember correctly, I think they were drinking wine, and this was like the defense's argument. One of their argument was that she was drunk, that she had taken Valium and wine, and she was dizzy, and this is what caused the fall, etc., etc. It could be that I'm picking that energy too, but he seems to be more laid back than her generally, but I feel that he snaps. When he snaps, he can be like, he sees red, right? I feel that he can be mean and he sees red, and that he has no control of what comes out of his mouth. So his words can hurt, including the kids. This not only towards his wife, okay, just everyone. But he cares about his image. He cares about his image. So let's okay, this one. Hold on. Five of Swords, head. Her head. Her head. Hold on, everyone. Something about her head. Or him. Oh. Hold on. Doesn't look good, guys. All right, all right. So I'm going to show you the cards before I say anything. Five of Cups. She was sad. She wasn't happy in that relationship. This is what I'm feeling. She wanted out. She could have been drinking a lot more leading up to her death, like the days before, maybe to cope, maybe to cope, to help her relax. Five of Swords, Four of Swords. Five of Swords, Four of Swords. Four of Swords, it's not. Five of Swords is definitely like, it's also like being very confused. She was confused. So it could have been the wine, the Valium as well. Also, it was the conversation they were having out there in the patio, out in the garden, by the pool, conversation they were having as well, which confused her even more. Yes, there was drinking. Yes, I feel that she was a little bit like loopy because of that, maybe because of, I don't know if I didn't read that anywhere, but I assume, or I feel she was taking antidepressants as well at the time. And then Four of Swords, she didn't want to talk about it anymore. I feel that she was trying to avoid a conversation, and he was pushing. Okay. He was pushing to have a conversation, or he was pushing to get some answers, or he wanted her to maybe keep going. It seems to me that they were coming to the end of their marriage. Okay. It wasn't working out anymore. That was it. It was the end. And then that happened. That fateful night that happened. I feel very much that they didn't see eye to eye when it comes to finances too. I do feel that there was a lot of discord and a lot of fighting and arguing around the finances too. Now, I want to see that's I keep getting the moon. Michael Peterson has a lot of secrets. And I'm going to say something. He's very smart. The other thing that I forgot to mention was when I first saw that documentary, or when I first was sort of aware of this case years ago, the first thing that came to me was like the perfect murder. This is the perfect murder. And this is exactly what I'm feeling today as I'm pulling the cards, as I'm connecting with spirit. I keep getting the moon. I got it before with Elizabeth Ratcliffe. Got that. I'm getting it with Kathleen Peterson too. The moon. I feel he's not the one that hit them or pushed them, but somehow he is the one that I feel psychologically, energetically, in some way, he is involved and he is guilty in their death, especially now, Kathleen. Yes. I feel that he wanted her to drink, to take Valium, to mix all that together. Convenient, right? This is what it feels to me. And I don't feel that, again, it was premeditated. It's not like that evening he decided, oh, I'm going to get rid of her and this is how I'm going to do it, because now I know, because he knows from the case of Elizabeth Ratcliffe, right, what to do, what not to do, or how he can get away with it. But I do feel that he wanted her to be sort of intoxicated or not lucid enough for that conversation that they were having. It was a hard conversation that they were having. But hold on. I just want a confirmation. I'll get to you, Intergalactic Defender, to your question. I just have a feeling, and I want to pull that card just to validate it for you guys. I'll just tell you. Two. Yeah, I keep getting that. Why does he keep doing that? Three. Yeah. Seems to me that she knew about an affair. Kathleen. She knew about an affair. He was with someone else. He was with someone else, seeing someone else, or he was having an affair, a fleeting affair, whatever it was, but she knew about it. Here you go, the birds. They were talking about that, about all that, because he was concerned about his image, and so was she, because of her career and because of what, she was working towards, her career and the company that she was working for. Father of Cups, and then butterfly, and then she died. Okay. Here's my theory, okay? This is what I'm getting, and let's get down to it. I feel that he knew exactly what he was doing by intoxicating her. Intoxicating. It's not like he forced her down, but I feel that he was over serving her. Maybe he probably knew already that she was taking medication or things that would be affected from red wine. I keep getting red wine. I even added it in the video. I don't know if they were drinking red wine, but this is what I keep getting. That I've been getting the last few days. I will say that Michael Peterson, how I feel it, how I see it as a psychic medium, and having, by doing this video and everything that's coming through, that I do feel that he is guilty. He is guilty. I do feel that he's a very, very extremely intelligent man. He's got a way with words. He's got a way with people. It's the way he is, and he knows that. He's extremely confident, overconfident sometimes, I feel, regardless of what we see or how you see him in the trial or in the documentaries, all that. Forget about that. What also surprises me is this came through. What was his girlfriend's name? You know, when they were recording that HBO documentary years ago, didn't they fall in love with, was it a woman that was part of the documentary crew? She was a producer or she was a filmmaker. I don't remember now because I told you that I've watched this years ago. Why do I feel that that's his MO? Like, he wants to have these strong women. He wants to be in a partnership, in a team with these women. And I do feel that there is a certain type of women that he goes for, he chooses, okay? That for him, even though they're strong, they seem strong, but I feel that they are women that he looks up to, but at the same time, he can manipulate and he can mold, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to say, and I'll keep saying, okay, something else that's coming through, the kids. The kids. I know they stood by him and they stand by him, except for one, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. The kids of Elizabeth are Martha and Margaret that he adopted. Where's the other? Okay, I don't have it here in my notes. No. But I think I read somewhere that I think his son believes that he is guilty, but I've got to say something else. I believe that these girls as well, Martha and Margaret, Elizabeth's daughters, are not 100% convinced or feel that he is innocent, that he's not responsible for Kathleen's and Elizabeth's deaths. But I do know from spirit and what I'm getting that it wasn't a blunt force trauma. It was the fall. It was the fall. Literally, it was a fall. But I do see him, as I do with not Patricia, Elizabeth Ratcliffe, his friend from Germany. I do see him at the top of the stairs. This is how they're showing me Michael Peterson. To me, that's a sign he's guilty. I also just heard and just got that she didn't pass instantly. So it wasn't like she fell and it was just like, she was out. I feel that she was still breathing. She was still here with us. She was still alive for a while at that bottom of the stairs. Probably why there was a lot of splatter, because what I keep seeing is, or what they're showing me is that, like, I see her trying to move a little bit, her hands against the wall. She can't get up. It's impossible. I think like if she had survived that fall, it would have been bad for her. It doesn't seem that she would have been able-bodied after that fall, because the way I'm being shown the fall seems very, very not force, but like it happened like with speed and force. Let me see what's coming, what else is coming through. So they want us to believe, or at least the defense wants us to believe, that she slipped and fell. And I'm being shown, but there is I don't believe that, because how I see her climbing up those stairs, every time she always would hold on the rail. Did she have some kind of issue? Lower back and hip. I keep getting that. So lower back and hip, she must have had like some kind of chronic pain or issue. So she was always careful when she would, walk up the stairs, she would hold the railings of the stairs. I see him there. I see him there. I really feel that the death of Elizabeth Ratcliffe in Germany was what inspired him for Kathleen's death, because he was part of the investigation. He was around when they were investigating the death of Elizabeth, so he knew exactly what they would look for, how the investigation works, how the autopsy works. He knew exactly how that works. And I'm sorry to say that, and I know I'm going to get a lot of those like negative comments saying like, how dare you, and he's innocent, whatnot. But guys, this is my opinion. This is what I do for a living. I'm a psychic medium, and I stand by what I say and what I feel and what I'm being shown. So yeah, I feel, and I know it takes us a while to get there, but it takes me, because I want to be 100% sure when I come out and say something like this, that I'm 100% sure that that's what I'm getting. This is what I'm picking up. So to me, he's guilty. And that was the initial first feeling I had when I first came across that, because I didn't know about the case before I came across that documentary of HBO back then. And that instantly, and I know it's biased. I know that a lot of people could say that documentary is biased. Regardless, I don't go in biased myself. What I do is I try to read, and that's why I love true crime. That's why I'm doing true crime, because I love to read people. I love to read this situation and what comes through. And instantly, I was just like, red flags, red flags, red flags. But as well, but even back then, I was like, I don't know how. I don't feel that he was responsible for the first death of Elizabeth. But now we know. He was inspired. He knew how to do it now. Before I go, let me remind everyone again, please like this video. It does help. Please subscribe and also share. Help me grow my channel. I'm stuck. It's hard with YouTube. The more we grow this channel, the more we bring in more like-minded people in. We grow as a community, and we learn from each other, and we really help each other. Thank you all for being here today. Lots of love. Till next time. Bye.